Hello there, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome on in to the Q&A chatting with this guy, Doug Walker. We're glad that you're here. We are once again doing both YouTube and Twitch streams simultaneously. So welcome YouTube, welcome Twitch to this guy.
With the two thumbs.
Yes, Mr. Two Thumbs. There we go. Twitch, thank you so much for this level 5 hype train we have going on over here. Heck yeah, let's go. Let's get to the rules so that we can start answering some of these burning questions that you have for Doug. First and foremost, we do give priority here to bit messages and super chats, since that is some real world money spent. With that real world money spent here, we also are going to prioritize super chats that are $5 and over first, just because we do have a large volume of questions that comes in, and this helps us prioritize them as well. So we're going to prioritize those $5 super chats first, and then if we have time, we can go back and read some of those lesser value super chats. That also applies with highlighted questions in Twitch towards the end of stream. We might have time for them, we may not. It really depends on how things shake out, but highlighting a question on Twitch does not guarantee that we are going to see it or answer it. Please watch the length of your questions. The longer it is, the faster I have to read it, the more likely it is that we're going to miss the point and that we do not have time to repeat it. So short and to the point is better. Please, no spoilers. Whether that be of the latest and greatest movie that's out there right now, or a TV show, or Final Fantasy VII Remake, since Doug is playing that right now. Just no spoilers, okay? Be respectful of that. Please do not repeat yourself over and over again in chat. You can get timed out or even banned if you're going to continuously do that as well. We do have a list, and I know this is still a fairly new thing for YouTube here. We do have a list of all of the super chats and bits that were given. So you don't have to repeat your super chat or your bit. We will get to it. I've got a list. It is very, very rare that it is missed. It's just sometimes we can get up to 100, not 100 minutes, an hour, an hour behind. So just be patient. We will get to it. Sometimes it's just like an hour or so behind. Okay? Great. Maybe check to see, although honestly, you can't really do this because there's both Twitch and YouTube. Never mind.
Yeah,
you know what?
Pretty crazy.
I was going to say check to see if someone else asked the question you asked, but we don't, you know what?
Yeah. You know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty tricky. So I guess that's that. And I think that's it.
Cool. I think we good.
Yeah. Great. Awesome. Fantastic. That Disney nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. Hello, Doug Cosby. How are you, my little friend?
Thank you for the compliment. I'm good though.
Dragon's Toy, thank you for the 48-month subscription. Welcome back. Appreciate that. OMG, I am so close to a year. I can't even.
Crazy, right? Love having you. Love having you.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. I know your Ghost Dad review was just before the allegations surfaced, but there's one particular scene that might outdo all of the commercials in today's video. Putting context aside, there's a scene where Cosby threateningly says the word, the bitch, oh, sorry, can't say that on YouTube. The beep, can't make it to the phone. I'm here though, if so much as call, talk to, or even think about her, so help me, I'll do things to you. The scene itself isn't exactly what you think, but still Jesus.
You know, that's why, because I was looking through the comments before I came here, and somebody said, man, I remember when he did his Ghost Dad review, and he said Bill Cosby has a great reputation. And I'm like, man, if I included my own review in there, that would have been pretty funny. I'm actually shocked I didn't do that. I'm surprised I didn't go back and look at that review. I should have done that.
Oiram, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, about Wish, you going to discuss the production history or maybe how some people claim that King Magnifico was actually the good guy and Asha was the bad guy? Oh, maybe even do a brief spoof of the Bob Iger and Nelson Petzler thing.
No, I didn't see too much of the production, the history. I did hear that the King and Queen were originally supposed to be villains together. But that's so funny that you said that, because I say at the end, I think it would have been interesting. Not that Asha's the villain, but that Magnifico be the hero, turns into a villain, and then back into a hero. Because we haven't seen that from Disney, like a main character do that. We've never seen that in an animated film. And I thought that would have been a good, like, it kind of new spin on like the fairy tale and the complexities of a character, which show how far like Disney has come and everything. But they ain't at that point. It was quite the step backwards.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you watched John Wick Chapter 4 yet? And if so, what are your thoughts?
No, let me put that on. I have a list of movies I have to watch, and that's one I should see because I heard good things.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. Guess I'll cancel my birthday party Friday. Your reaction to what would have been incredible. Mr. Limpet 1999 was the best gift I could have gotten. Thank you. Has Jim been swimming in your nightmares yet?
I mean, Jim Carrey is always in my nightmares in some way or form. His faces are just so odd. He's made some very bad movies. I just think of The Majestic. Any scene from The Majestic that gets me cringing. No, that's really funny. Thank you for that. It was quite nightmarish.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Huge missed opportunity. Instead of saying call the police in the first Jell-O popsicle commercial, you should have shown the walrus from Ren and Stimpy.
I was thinking about it. I just changed it to call the police. I think because I used it before, I try not to reuse. I say I try not to reuse clips unless I'm trying to make a meme, which I try not to do anymore. But yeah, I remember using that for something else, and I was just like, yeah, I'll just say it normally.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. A problem I have with It's a Wonderful Life is that Potter doesn't get any comeuppance. What are your thoughts?
That's so funny because I'm quite the opposite. I don't like there was a villain at all in It's a Wonderful Life. I think it's more interesting if it's just life, which there are people that do bad things, certainly, but I don't know. Life's more complex than it's just, here's just a villain from beginning to end kind of thing. I would like it more if they made him look like he's perhaps a person past saving, if that makes sense. But with that said, I like he doesn't get his comeuppance because that is more real. That is like real life a lot more. That this person is going to keep, existing and probably doing crummy things and stuff like that. That's what I like the most about the movie is, as kind of silly as it is, there's so many things that are relatable to it. And I think it's too easy just to create a villain in something that's really showing the interesting complexities of life. So the more they can make that a little bit more real by not having him get his comeuppance, the more I'm actually kind of for it. He's played great. I mean, he's a fun character, but yeah, I still don't know if he belongs in that movie.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Which David Wayne directed comedy do you like more, Role Models or Wet Hot American Summer?
Role Models. The Wet Hot American Summer is very close. That is very, very funny. I didn't know the same guy directed that. That makes so much sense. Because I remember I really liked Role Models when it came out. I'm like, man, why haven't I heard more from this director and everything? And I did. He directed another like great cult comedy. So yeah, no, they're both very, very funny.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. You've said that Maggie is your favorite Simpsons character, but what is your favorite moment of hers? For me, it's either the Great Escape parody they did with her at the daycare or when she critically spins her head around and imitates Ned Flanders.
That's the one, the Great Escape. I thought that was so clever. That was so funny. Just the fact that John Lovitz was the person that overlooked the play or whatever, not the nanny, I don't know what you call it, but the caretaker, I guess. Yeah, I thought was very, very funny.
At Movies, thank you for the 550 bits. Hi, Doug. How are you holding up? When should you see your specialist?
I mean, I should see the specialist right away, but I can only get in middle of this month. I'm going to see a rheumatologist. And hopefully she can tell me what's going on. I'm hearing more and more people say it might be an autoimmune thing. For the most part, it's been going good. I've just tried to play everything super mid. Everything I eat is very mid. Whenever I take a shower, it's not too hot. My exercise is very mid. I just try not anything that kind of like is a jolt to my body, either physically or mentally. It seems to bring it on. So I just play everything like stupid, like a sitcom. Like, don't aggravate him, don't. And it's like, it feels so, I feel like so friggin' fragile, but that is what brings it on for whatever reason. So I try to play everything super, super dull.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Ready for another mind blower? In addition to Killer Clown's 3D sequel, Disney canceled a Sims and Legend of Zelda movie. All three would have been out by now.
Disney do Zelda?
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Something doesn't feel right about that. They have too much of a both of those have too strong an identity in their fantasy worlds that I feel like they wouldn't mix. You know what? Like when people say Tolkien and Disney wouldn't really mix and they didn't really see eye to eye. Like I see the same thing happening with Zelda and Disney.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is just about a month away. Will you still make a compilation review of the past films before then?
I thought about it. There's a lot of them though. That's the only thing. I'm talking about the original Planet of the Apes because still haven't seen all the newer ones. If I'm gonna do the newer ones, I want that one in there. So maybe after Kingdom comes out, I'll do a compilation of like the newer films. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do all of them. I'm gonna try and see the last two Transformer movies I haven't seen yet. Try to do like a compilation video on those.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. This is part 1 of 2. 100% agree on physical media. To make up for losing billions, Disney Plus has deleted some OG streaming titles. Owning a DVD means it can't be taken and you don't need streaming or the internet to watch it.
I agree.
Chase, thank you for the $10 super chat. This is part 2 of 2. Case in point, a digitally released remake of Earthworm Jim was deleted 8 years later because the development company went bankrupt, existing only in videos and photos, but I can still play OG on Sega.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, even outside of that, they make changes to stuff all the time. And sometimes they're good changes. I'm not going to say they're always bad, but just to hold on to the original. I have a lot of original VHSs. I mean, not a ton, like maybe like a couple dozen or something like that. But because I know, there some things in there don't always age well. And it's like, all right, well, this might, be worth something in the future. Or maybe it won't be worth it. Just preserving it in general, I think is a good idea. I don't know. I'm a fan of, remembering history or else you'll repeat it. So, yeah, I get it's also a lot of it's kids' entertainment. So I get erasing it out and changing it. Or I'm a bigger fan of the disclaimers at the beginning when they do that. I don't know if that was the original question. I'm going off on a tangent here, but yeah, that's my thoughts.
Ooh, Jeremiah, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on Gemini Man?
I never saw it. I heard it's not good, but the 3D looked really good. That's the one thing I regret not seeing in there because Life of Pi, because it's the same director, was amazing in 3D. And I guess some people were saying this movie's going to change 3D, and it doesn't sound like it did that, but it sounds like it was very impressive. And when 3D is done well, I do like to check it out.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Random dad joke. What do you call a Jewish cow?
A cow?
A ribeye instead of a rabbi.
Ah!
Get it? There it is.
I hate how much that made me laugh.
Ooh, Jeremiah, thank you for the 500 bits. Who's your favorite character in The Boys?
Go through all the characters here. I kind of like the who's the one that can't speak, does the sign language and everything.
Oh, Kimiko?
Yeah, I like her. It's like I was trying to think of scenes that really stuck with it. I guess it's kind of a spoiler, but the scene in the hospital when she says, "Bring me this thing to lift." I won't go any further than that, but I love the excitement she had for that. Something that a lot of people would not be excited for. She was so excited about. And I like when there's a character where something is taken away, like speech or sight or something like that, and they really utilize it very well. If anything, it's almost like they can communicate better with that. Like they have to work differently and write the character a little differently. And I like when that's done very, very well. So yeah, I guess her.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which DeVay Chase character do you like more, Chihiro or Lilo?
Lilo or who? I'm sorry.
Chihiro. So I'm assuming that's from Spirited Away.
Yeah.
I was frozen.
Probably
today.
Lilo. I like the personality of Lilo. I mean, she's a little brat, but she's very believable. They try to make her especially weird in the movie, but I'm like, I don't know. Kids are oddballs, man. I remember kids just doing a lot of the weird stuff that she did. So she was weirdly very believable.
Rico LeVay, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug and Heather, hope you're all doing well. Literally just saw Godzilla X Kong. Seriously, was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had a good time. I'm not going to say it's great, but I mean, like, I gave me pretty much what I thought I was going to get.
Today.
Jacob, thank you for the $10 super chat. So, Doug, if you've already rewatched Wish for NC, did it get worse? Because I personally think it's the main animation studio's worst film. Also, if Rob watched it, a little hint to his reaction.
It did get worse.
Oh
But
no.
no, but in a different way you wouldn't think. It's not. I say this at the end. It's not that it's the worst Disney movie. It's that it's nothing. It's just a big bowl of nothing, and there's a lot of potential, just even in the story idea, to be something. Um, and most of it, we were gonna film it originally because he hadn't seen it. We were gonna film our like a first viewing of it, but I wasn't feeling well, so I'm like, let's just do it on our own. And really, all we did, we just analyzed it. We couldn't even get like that excited to like laugh at it, how bad it was, because it isn't that kind of movie. It's just so underwhelming and so safe, and just has no surprises in it. Yeah, it's a shame because I thought it's a good idea. Of course, the timing of it being the 100-year film, it's a shame. I personally think Disney's gonna bounce back, but woof, what a rough year.
Kevin, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you heard? Hulu is now merged with Disney Plus, so when children are done watching Deadpool, they can watch Family Guy, American Dad, The Cleveland Show, and History of the World Part 2.
Yeah, I saw that. I always heard them talk about that, but now that I see it, like I go Disney Plus and there's like, all the Hulu shows and everything, I'm like, that is a little surreal. Because I'm like, I can also just go to Hulu and watch that. Like, it's so weird. I have these two streaming platforms and one just has two in there. It's very, very bizarre.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. The Hell of a Boss Honeycomb rave song you boxed to is in fact Cotton Candy. I rave danced to that song for 6 hours straight once I was on Shrooms Don't Judge.
Oh man, that's I don't know how much you want to move around when you're on shrooms, man. That can be, well, I guess it depends, but that can be intense.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, since April is Autism Awareness Month, maybe you could review Power Rangers 2017, since the Blue Ranger is autistic, plus it's super underrated.
Maybe. Let me look into that. Because there's a lot to say. I always go back and forth because I'm not a big Power Ranger guy, but that's also why it's kind of interesting to talk about. Yeah, no, there might be something there.
Bella D, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you noticed that big Hollywood companies have been celebrating their own anniversaries for decades while dealing with controversy at the same time?
I mean, I feel like any company big enough is going to get, especially like Warner or Disney or anything like that, they're going to get like controversies and stuff like that, especially one that's been around for so long. And that might be a part of it too, because there is already so much attention on them. It's the big 100-year so-and-so. And people are just, there's gonna be more eyes on it. So I mean, it wouldn't be shocking if they find like, more stuff that slipped through the cracks or whatever.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. You've talked about Animaniacs 2020. What did you think of its teaser recreating the Jurassic Park scene when Alan and Ellie see the dinosaur for the first time? It ingeniously works on so many levels.
Oh yeah, no, and I like that Spielberg that shows him too. It's a Spielberg movie, and then he's playing Hammond, showing him the Warners there. No, I thought that was very funny.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. I finally checked out Elvis. At first, I didn't find it that interesting, but as it went along, I found myself getting more and more invested in the story. It was a bit too long for my liking, but overall, I found the film to be enjoyable, compelling, true enough story of Elvis.
Yeah, it is very long. And you use the term true enough. I would agree because there's a lot of stuff they left out. But I stand big time. It is being told in the style of an Elvis movie, like in all its kitsch and everything, but it's trying not to. So it's trying to glorify him. It's trying to over dramatize and romanticize more the spectacle of Elvis. And that includes the kitsch in there as well, like kind of what he became. So in some respects, in kind of an abstract way, it's kind of like the best biography you could get of him because it does include not only in many respects who he was, but kind of what he became and will always kind of be now, it seems like, sort of this kitsch musical icon. So I thought it was very clever that way.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Will we get a Disney-cember for X-Men 97 this year, or do you want to wait until after season 2 and 3? Also, thoughts on today's episode?
That's why, I keep writing down ones to do for Disney December. Yeah, I do want to talk about season 1. I usually try to wait for a show to wrap up, but I love X-Men so much. I want to talk about that. And I like to find, you can tell it's a little bit of a filler episode. But I like Mojo. It was cool seeing him. I like the callbacks to like the arcade, the old X-Men arcade games. I mean, several of them in there, so that was pretty cool. And then the stuff with Storm is just so interesting. I don't know. They're throwing in like good twists and turns in this, and it's legit really engaging even to watch as an adult. So I'm loving the hell out of it.
Ooh, Jeremiah, thank you for the 500 bits. Disney Sember on Old Dogs.
I never did see that one. I don't know if there's much demand for it. I'm sure it's bad. I heard it's bad, but I don't know. Maybe that's one of those where it's gotten like such a bad reputation, like people like to talk about. I'm not sure. I'll look into it.
Raptor Tim, thank you for becoming a member over on YouTube. I almost said Twitch. YouTube. At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Which would you rather sit through again, Mr. Magoo or Inspector Gadget?
Mr. Magoo. At the very least, I can watch Malcolm McDowell.
Tom Allen, thank you for the 10-pound super chat. Hi, Heather and Doug. You guys are awesome. One question for Doug. Have you ever seen Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal? And if so, would you ever consider doing a Nostalgia Critic review on it one day?
Yeah, and I'm one of those poor SOBs that says it's really boring. I love the technology of it. I love the puppetry. I love the designs. The world is cool. But there's maybe like 4 moments I can think of where I'm like, well, that was cool. And the rest is really boring to me. I hate saying that because you can see how much love and effort went into that movie. But I just thought it was so dull. The show I was liking a lot more.
Great. Well, we're all mad now. Everyone's leaving.
Sorry.
Everyone's leaving. How dare. Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. Freak Show Cinema / Nostalgiaween, Pinocchio and the Emperor of the Night. To save his Papa Pinocchio, voiced by Scott Grimes from Critters, sells his soul / freedom to Devil, voiced by James Earl Jones.
Yeah, somehow I missed this movie because, I do like to look at those old like 80s commercials and stuff like that, just to remember the good old days or just remember the days when I was younger. And that commercial kept coming up. I'm like, I don't remember this movie at all. And a lot of people do ask me to review it. So maybe I will. I've never seen it, but and that's another one Philo Barnhart worked on. So maybe it'd be fun to get him in for that too.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. What's the first film and episode that made you openly cry? For me, it was Elfman's music during Vincent Price's death in Edward Scissorhands and the X-Files episode Closure, where Mulder hugs his dead sister's soul.
Man, I'm trying to think. I'm sure there was one before this, but the one that's coming to my head is I can say it's years old. The death of Spock in Star Trek 2. That really, I'm like, because that was like the one character I knew from Star Trek, the pointy-eared guy. You go like this, live long and prosper and stuff. And then, I'm like, what do you mean he's dead? What? And that was just, that was hard. In terms of a show, man, I don't know. I'm totally blanking. I can't think of one. I mean, I'm sure I've cried at shows and stuff, but in terms of like the earliest, I'm totally blanking. I'm so sorry. I can't think of one.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, can we get a clue for next week's NC review, please? And Heather, how far is Doug into Final Fantasy? I'd watch, but I'm going to play it myself. He's maybe a third into it, maybe closer to half than a third. Just got to Wall Market.
Oh my God,
been investigating Wall Market.
And what was the other part? Oh, the clue
NC.
We were talking about Star Trek. It is Star Trek-ish.
Interesting. Okay. Kevin Lane, thank you for the $5 super chat. Time for an improvisation exercise. You're an avid conspiracy theorist, but a global catastrophe has been linked back to a theory you made years ago. The world is my bald head. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which Pixar main character do you think is more bland, Merida from Brave or Lightyear's version of Buzz?
Lightyear. I thought Merida, at least they're done a lot now, but back then you did not see many stories, at least in family films, about a daughter interacting with her mother. You just didn't see that. And suddenly an influx of them came maybe about 5-10 years later. But that was very rare. That was very interesting to me. Where the thing with Buzz, I feel like, again, you go into spoilers. The idea of talking to your future self, that's done to death. And it can be done so much more interesting. And they didn't do it. They did such a dumb way, making him Zurg and everything. That was just, that was so lame.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Also, the 10th Doctor's cry, I don't want to go before dying in Doctor Who depressed me for days because David Tennant was the best doctor we've ever had.
Yeah, if I watched that show, I would agree.
Mavery Cat, thank you for the $10 super chat. I literally just finished watching your Bill Cosby Top 11 commercial special. Thank you. It's great to see you do a commercial episode outside of autumn.
Yeah, it was funny because I might make a habit of that, doing at least 2 specials, because I was originally going to do like foreign commercials. Because I thought that there's something kind of fun there, because every once in a while I'll see an ad from like Japan or something like that. I don't know what they're saying, but it just looks like crazy. It just, or was it like Long Man and stuff like that? I mean, just some of that's so funny. So I was like, maybe I'll do that. But then like, I was just looking for commercials. I just found something like 5 Bill Cosby ones. I'm like, maybe this can be a list.
Juliana, thank you for the $10 super chat. Did you know Porky OG voice actor Joe Doherty actually stuttered? Blanc replaced him after 3 years because his stutter took up too much film.
Really? I didn't know that.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, huh. I know Blank didn't start off doing all the voices and stuff, so I guess that would kind of make sense. Yeah, because Porky was like the first big star they had. I didn't know that, though. Huh, interesting. I guess, you know what? No, I did kind of know that, because obviously the original voice did not sound like Mel Blanc at all. It was like a higher pitch voice. I mean, even Mel Blanc couldn't do that, but I didn't know he actually had a stutter. That's really interesting. Or that's why he was let go.
Ooh, Jeremiah, thank you for the 500 bits. Seen Wonka?
Not yet. I do have it on the queue there, but I haven't got a chance to see it yet. I have seen the Wonka Experience, though. It is quite the experience.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Idea for next March, Alien Month, where you review the first 2 movies, then Prometheus and Covenant, and maybe Romulus if time allows.
We have it written down as a possibility. The only thing that'd be tricky is that they are, famously gory. I mean, they're very scary. They're also, suspenseful and subtle, but some of them, but they're also very gory. And the new rules on YouTube, that wouldn't fly. But maybe we can get around it. I don't know if we can, though. Some of them just get so bloody. I don't know how you get around. Like, characters are just walking around covered in blood throughout the last third of some of them. So, yeah, I don't know if we can get away with that.
I Hate Mets, thank you for the $5 super chat. This is all in caps, so I'm trying to convey this well. How could you forget about Little Bill in your uncomfortable Bill Cosby ads vid?
Because I didn't know what it was after my time. Yeah, I think I saw somebody mention that in a comment. I'm like, Little Bill. I'm assuming, is that kind of like, it looks like a cutout cartoon of like this little kid. It's like, is that it?
I don't know what you're referring to.
Hold on, Lacey. Little Bill. I think it's a show he developed on Nickelodeon. Yeah. It's like a little kid. It's kind of a freaky looking kid, the way they animate him. But because I forgot it even existed.
Juliana, thank you for the $5 super chat. What is a movie you regretted showing a family member? I showed my 16-year-old nieces DeVito's War of the Roses, and I regretted it immediately.
Oh, I love that movie, man. It's so good. It was a choice between Red Planet or Little Nicky. And I said, I know Red Planet's going to be, they both had bad reviews, but I said, I know Red Planet's going to be bad. Little Nicky, with Adam Sandler, and back then there was a 50-50 chance it could be funny. Just critics didn't like it, but it could be really funny. So I convinced everyone to go see that, and they didn't let me live it down for a while, man. They were just, remember we dragged us to Little Nicky? I'm like, it was not a Red Planet. It's like, and they still haven't seen Red Planet, so there.
Ymir Hades, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Channel Awesome, huge fan. I just rewatched your Mulan review, and I agree, Sean Yu has no motivation, but I love the stakes. He will destroy everything.
Yeah, he just didn't do anything for me. In the villain in the upcoming review, same thing. They try and make him look really big and really talking really bad and stuff, but I'm just like, and they make him super violent. He destroyed this, he destroyed that, but unless I don't know. I think to the Cinderella mindset, where it's like, what Lady Tremaine do? She just got this one person, just made her do chores and stuff, and wouldn't let her go out and say, which is awful. But I mean, I feel that's so much more than these endings. They destroyed nations, they killed all these people, but there's nothing interesting to them outside of that. Where Lady Tremaine, she's not doing nearly as many bad things, but just the one bad thing she's doing it so well and so charismatically and so smoothly and so elegantly and so deliciously evil that she's intriguing. So yeah, to me, it's not always what the character does, it's how they do it.
Felicity, thank you for the £5 super chat. Is the Wish review happening next week? Thought it was today's video. Also, sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
Heck yeah, sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. YouTube censorship. It's not next week. It's gonna be the week after that. The reason we postponed it was because it was supposed to be out on Blu-ray by the time we reviewed it, but Disney postponed it. But then it worked out okay because I got really bad fatigue that day and brain fog. I just couldn't do anything, so I had to cancel the shoot. And then we found out it was a blessing in disguise anyway. So yeah, we literally just shot it yesterday.
Trip, thank you for the $10 super chat. No message, just the super chat.
Thank you.
Mark, thank you for the $5 super chat. Can we get NCs on any Aardman movies? Chicken Run, Wallace and Gromit, Flushed Away, etc.
I thought about maybe doing Flushed Away because that's kind of like an underrated little gem. I like that movie. I think it'd be fun to talk about.
Andrew, thank you for the $20 super chat. Hey, Doug, love your work since Cat in the Hat. Any thoughts on the show Camp Crustaceous? And do you think Jurassic World missed a huge opportunity with the black market idea?
Okay, hold on. Camp. Is that the Jurassic Park?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Because I didn't know how to spell that. And I didn't want to take forever misspelling it. I haven't seen it. I've heard of it. I've had some people recommend it to me, but yeah, I haven't had a chance to check it out. And yeah, I think so many things in the Jurassic World movies are just huge missed opportunities. They're not nearly taken advantage of enough.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. You know, I greet you with a reference to your review every week, so I personally think you backed yourself into a corner. Wait, oh God, that's worse.
Hold on.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Heather, how about a Spider-Man movie tier list? Oh yeah, that's an option. That's an option for sure.
I love it.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Like you, I didn't like Ralph Breaks the Internet. My biggest problem with it, is what they did to Ralph's character. In the first one, he was not super bright, but was well-meaning. But in the sequel, he was even less intelligent and he was uncomfortably clingy to Vanellope. Wow, that took me way too long to get through.
Yeah, and kind of the same thing with Penelope, you know, kind of the whole thing was her trying to get in this game and belong and stuff like that. And they both kind of got what they wanted. And then they're both like, that's not what we're looking for. And I'm like, you can do that story well, but it just doesn't seem like that was the characters to do it with. I don't know. They didn't do nearly as many cool things as they could have with the internet. I don't know. That was the same year Frozen 2 came out. I know a lot of people like to make fun of Disney now for like, really fun behind the wayside and stuff like that. But I think Frozen 2 and Wreck-It Ralph 2 is when I started to say, you doing okay, Disney? I don't know. I'm worried about you. Like this, you're slipping quite a bit here. But they still had a few good things come out back then.
Oliver, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey guys, thoughts on Julia Garner being cast as Silver Surfer? Excited for a female Silver Surfer.
Hold on. Julia Gardner. Don't even think I know who this is. Inventing Anna. Okay, I've seen like a little bit of that. She was pretty fun in that. I'm not that brushed up on Silver Surfer, or even if it's like, is this a female Silver Surfer from the comic, or did they just switch it? Does it make sense to switch? I have no idea. The only thing I know about Silver Surfer is that he was in the second Fantastic Four movie and that Angry Video Game Nerd review where the game was really bad. That's all I know about it.
Tip, thank you for the $10 super chat. When are you doing another old versus new?
Probably never. They just take too long to make. Now I'm older and time is more draining than it used to be, especially still having the fatigue. So yeah, I'm not looking to do any new ones anytime soon.
Kevin, thank you for the $5 super chat. The real reason why you always explain top 11 is because you like to go one step beyond. Why don't you say that anymore?
You know, I think I just said it too many times. I think it's one of those things where I'm like, well, I got to think of something. No, actually, it's not even that. I think just sometimes I think of a good punchline and I'm like, oh, this will be funny to put in here kind of thing. And I think I just kept thinking of other punchlines. I forgot to say the original meaning of it. But don't worry, there's got to be like, I don't know, like 50 times I said it in other videos. I mean, you're not short any.
Sarah Gusta, thank you for the $20 super chat. What is your updated top 10 worst films list?
Oh man,
maybe just give top 5 or top 3.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can't give all of them. I'm trying to think because I did one years ago when I killed off the NC. Yeah, I think a Cat in the Hat would be up there. Mamma Mia was pretty rough. That Nutcracker 3D, that'd be high up there, definitely. Maybe for the honor of it, I put Freddy Got Fingered up there, even though it is intentional. It's supposed to be awful. But it was so impressively bad. So there's a couple for you.
At movies, thank you for the 500 bits. NC for the Suicide Squad, or will YouTube not let you?
I was frozen
I did it
today.
years ago. Oh, the
Suicide Squad.
I missed the.
Yeah, the is very important.
I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I have a ton to say about it or anything new I could bring to it. But I did really enjoy it. And yeah, you're right. There are a lot of scenes where it's like, man, how would you do some of those scenes? Like, there's a character that literally gets stabbed in the heart, and you see like the inside of like the organs, the going into the heart. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know how I get around that.
Fat Disney Nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. I'm asking this again because I remember you telling me to remind you. Have you seen the Iron Claw yet?
No, I do have it written down on the list of stuff to watch, though.
Sean49 Doctor, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug. Well, the SCTV family lost another member with the passing of Joe Flaherty. If you want to do a tribute to him later, YouTube has plenty to choose from, including a recently posted episode of the old 80s Canadian game show Definition.
You know, when that was announced that he passed away, I looked at him and I said, I know who this guy is. I recognize him from stuff, but I'm not. If you were to say what is he from? I just know SCTV and then like just some other funny stuff, but I can't remember what the movies are. So I feel like if I ever do like a dedication to someone, it has to be someone like I really followed. And even then, sometimes I'll just do like a little, like blurb on Facebook or something, but I'll really work on, what I write about and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's very, very rare that I do like a video tribute to someone, unless it's something where it's like, it'd almost be weird if I didn't, you know what I mean? Like Roger Ebert, when he passed, like, well, I gotta say something, about that.
Kevin, thank you for the $5 super chat. Improvisation exercise. At a summit, world leaders discover the world's supply of oil will be gone within 20 years.
It's okay. Drill inside my head. So,
Great.
I'll come back to that.
Chase, thank you for the $10 super chat. Fanscription, The Mask 2. Since Ventura 2 bombed, Jim Carrey passed on a $10 million Mask 2 deal. Milo has the mask, and we didn't actually see Dorian die, so maybe he survived and became Pretorius, linking the show.
Actually, an idea I had. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. I don't know. I just kind of want to do it. I think everyone has like a little fantasy in their head of like if something became like a movie or a musical or a play or something like that and how they would do it kind of thing. I'd always want to do if I directed The Mask now and made it faithful to like the comics, like how would I do it? Because I think you can do it. I think enough time has passed. I think it's so radically different. And I think because of films like Deadpool, there is kind of a craving for, something that's just unapologetically violent and gory, but creative as well, very comic booky. So maybe I'll do a video on that because I've thought about doing that.
CAD, thank you for the $10 super chat. With Owl House, Steven Universe, and others making LGBTQ themes more mainstream and teaching it's okay to be LGBTQ, what's your favorite representation in cartoons?
Man, let me think. I do like, I'm always afraid to say because it's kind of a spoiler, but in Owl House, the main couple there, just without giving it away. But then in, it's hard to say this too without spoiling. In Steven Universe, the reveal about Garnet I thought was very, very clever and a legit good surprise. And it's also very romantic when you think about that. And that's one of the reasons I love about that show. You can really read a lot of different layers into everything. So
sorry. Chat just lost you for a second. It's okay. You're good. Everything's fine.
Oh.
It was me, not you. I'm trying to change something really fast.
Censorship. No. But yeah, I probably say those are the ones that are I think that stuck with me the most. I enjoyed the most.
Okay, sorry. I'm trying to figure this out because Thank you so much for those 50 gifted memberships on
Oh, wow.
Not on
Oh,
Twitch,
no.
on YouTube. But I'm trying to make sure that we do not have to listen to that meme me 50 times in a row.
Oh,
And
my
I'm
God.
trying to figure out really fast how to mute that, because otherwise we are literally listening to this 50 times in a row.
But thank you so much. It's very kind.
I still have not figured out how to mute it. I am being inundated with memes. Just give me 1 second to
I'll do the dance.
maybe figure this out. I'm so sorry. Let's just go on to the next one. Kendrick, thank you for the $1 super chat. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. A touch I love in The Iron Giant is that while they never mention Hogarth's father in the scene where Mansley is watching Hogarth, so he can't leave on Hogarth's drawer, you see a picture of Hogarth's father by a jet implying he died in the war.
Yeah, I'll try to make this one a touch longer because I know Heather's trying to get that muted. There is a deleted scene in the original Iron Giant, the original, like I made a remake or a sequel, but that is half animated. That's very interesting. It's right after the giant appears. That's actually Hogarth and his mother's first appearance, like they get a flat tire or something like that. And they do reference the father very briefly there. And then they also run into the fisherman there, the one that saw the giant. And it's very interesting, but you can tell why it was cut because it is repeating a lot of stuff that's just going to be mentioned later. So they do talk about, there is a deleted version where they do talk about it a little bit. I am saddened they didn't bring that, they didn't finish reanimating that when they did the re-release of it, because I think they put in another scene, and I thought it would have been cool to see that finished up, see that with color and everything.
All right, cool. It is muted. It's muted, but it's still happening. So
Okay.
just enjoy the visuals, I guess.
And thank you so much again for that.
Thank you.
very
50
kind of you.
memberships. Wild. Thank you so much. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500. Oh, I just read that. Sorry. Burnsy, thank you for the 500 bits. I don't know how much you watched SCTV, but Joe Flaherty passed away recently. I know thanks to Schitt's Creek, it's all Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, but Joe was the #2 guy at SCTV. I hope you don't mind toasting Joe. God, he was funny, screaming jackass and Happy Gilmore.
Yes, I was gonna. I have water here, but I get wet if I pour that out, so I just drop the apple. There we go.
There you go. At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Top 3 James Woods performances. And where is the proof?
I mean, Hades has got to be up there. Come on. I'm trying to think. He's one of those actors. I always recognize him when I see him in something, and I like him, but I'm always like, yeah, what's like a great performance from? It was a little hammy, and the movie's not very good, but I remember it being okay in Ghost of Mississippi. Like it is a little hammy, but that's a little what's fun about it. And I don't know, The Hard Way. I remember it being good in that.
Trip, thank you for the $5 super chat. When are you going to do another old versus new, and will you ever compare the films Flowers in the Attic?
I just saw the original. I never saw it before. Man, it was bonkers. I never ever saw that movie. It was so crazy to watch. I didn't know there was a remake. That's interesting. I'll have to look that up. I'm probably not gonna do an old versus new ever again. The more I think about it, I was gonna say for a long time, I'm like, probably ever again. Let's be realistic. I just don't have the time or energy anymore. I'm getting older. It does. If I was only writing it or only filming it or only editing it, maybe, but I'm doing all of that, and it does take time and a lot of energy.
Jennifer, thank you for the $2 super chat. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In the Muppet movie, what do you think of the song I Hope That Something Better Comes Along?
Oh, I like that song. I mean, are there any bad songs in those first 2 Muppet movies? They're all pretty good. Never Before is a little dull, but I love the Gonzo song. I'm going to go back there someday. Like as a kid, I didn't really know what it meant. I thought, well, when I get older, I'll know. And now that I'm older, I still don't, but I love speculating about what it means. Like there's a lot of layers to that song where I feel like I kind of take it as it's everything when you're not alive, before you were born, after you were born, and it's kind of that mysticism, was it old friends we've never met, stuff like that. It's all these contradictions, and it's just him like flying balloons in the air. It doesn't make any sense, but something about just like awakens something, like this Zen riddle song or something. It just fascinates me, and it comes right out of nowhere. You can cut it and not miss a thing, but it's like such a fascinating song.
Thank you for the $2 super chat. At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Do yourself a favor, Doug. Ask Tamara to cook pizza tots for everyone. They're delicious.
Pizza tots?
Pizza tots, they're exactly what you think they are. It's a tater tot with some marinara sauce and some cheese. It's a pizza tot.
How does the cheese? Wait, do you put them all together and then you put the stuff on top?
I think so. Sounds amazing.
I'm intrigued. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ask him about that.
Oxmere, thank you for the $10 super chat. Been watching your videos since middle school and you still haven't topped waiting in line for the Deathly Hallows release. Shaking my head. Kidding. What are your thoughts on The Critical Drinker?
I'm glad there's a little bit more time on this one because I usually say, oh, I saw the early stuff. I like that, and stuff like that. And that is true. I thought he was kind of a unique voice. I thought he was pretty funny and everything. But then I kept getting these thumbnails that just kind of read what every YouTuber is doing, just picking a side and sort of going super strong with it. His is anti-woke, which I'm like, sure, I make fun of both. I make fun of MAGA, I make fun of woke. I'm not a particular fan of either extreme, but it's looking like he's just making that his whole identity. But I haven't seen the video, so I could be totally wrong. I'm only going by these thumbnails that I'm seeing that just all looks like stuff that a million other YouTubers are saying, and I remember him having like this unique voice, this unique funny voice, and a way of looking at things, and now it's kind of sounding like he's sounding like all the others, but that's not fair for me to say because I haven't watched the videos. He could be saying stuff that's really cool, really good, really, unique, but if so, that's not being represented in the title. so I've kept away. It doesn't look like my thing, but I mean, it sounds like he's doing great, so he doesn't need my view.
JL, thank you for the $10 super chat. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Brazil, the Terry Gilliam movie. It's pretty much a funny 1984 because there's a lot of laughs in 1984.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Spectacular, what did you think of Tombstone? Your beloved. No, just kidding.
Good. I did like him better in the game. Yeah, I guess I'm not super aware of that character. I only know him from Spectacular Spider-Man and the video game. But I mean, he was good in both, but I did like him more in the video game.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. How would you rank all 5 movies in the MonsterVerse? Godzilla, Kong, Skull Island, etc.
Yeah, I might put Godzilla versus Kong as my favorite. Maybe Kong, Skull Island under that. Probably Godzilla x Kong, and then the Godzilla King of the Monsters, and then Godzilla.
Alexander, thank you for the 500. Oh, I just read that. Sorry. Amanda, thank you for the $5 super chat. Could you ever do a video on any of these film series, such as the Cornetto trilogy, the 2000 Ocean films, or the Scream films, so we NC's thoughts?
Yeah, I haven't seen all the Scream. I saw up to 3, and I saw whatever was the last one. Actually, what was it? Was it 5 or 6? They keep making them. I think I saw 5. And they're not my thing. They're fine, but they're just not my thing. The Ocean films, I've only seen the first one. I really like the first one. I haven't seen the sequels. And then what's the other one?
Cornetto. The
Cornetto trilogy. I did a video about things you don't know about them. Maybe I can do like a video talking about, because Hot Fuzz is my favorite. Like in terms of just comedy, laughs, and stuff like that. Like Hot Fuzz is my personal favorite. So yeah, I might, maybe I'll do a video, like a compilation of those.
Juliana, thank you for the $5 super chat. If you still have a PS2 and can connect it to stream, can you please play the Invincibles video game? It's so good. Or the Incredibles, sorry. That's very different than Invincibles. The Incredibles.
I played, boy, I wonder if this is the same one. I played one years ago for GameCube, and I wonder if that's the same game. I remember, for the most part, being a good time. I don't remember being great or anything, but there are some levels that were pretty fun in that.
Kevin, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you please start featuring Rob and Walter in your live YouTube conversations? I, for one, miss them. We might bring Rob back in at some point. I've just been trying to get the timing correct with just one person before adding multiple people into this conversation.
Yeah, this is like a new thing going to like YouTube and Twitch, and it's a couple adjustments, but we can probably get Rob back in here. Yeah, we've just been doing one for now because we're just trying to get it where we got a good swing of it, pacing of it.
Amanda, thank you for the $5 super chat. Any Kevin Smith films outside of Tusk that you'd consider for NC?
Well, can I do Clerks? I don't know if I can. That might be more a Brad thing. I feel like he could talk more about that. I haven't seen like a ton of the stuff he's done after Tusk or even that much before Tusk. Yeah, I don't know. And I heard like the last Clerks he did was pretty good. So maybe I'll check that out. If there's one I was going to do, I'd probably do that one. Because I think I said Clerks 2 was like, a super, super bad sequel. So if he actually sticks the landing with 3, that'd be pretty cool.
Chase, thank you for the $5 super chat. To clarify, 20th Century Fox was making the Clown sequel, Sims and Legend of Zelda films
I was
before
frozen
Disney
today.
bought Fox and canceled all 3 of them. My bad.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Well, what? No, you know what? I was gonna say, what could you do with Sims? But then the more I think about it, you kind of did it like, what was that? Free Guy?
Free Guy, yeah.
It was Free Guy. Okay. You could have something fun with that. If they know like they're being moved around or something like that. That'd be kind of a funny idea. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we're getting one now, aren't we? They're working on Zelda, and it is animated, correct?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah.
No, actually, I think it's live action.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. I'm curious. Yeah, either way, live action or animated, I'm curious to see how they do that.
JL, thank you for the $10 super chat. Do you think Netflix will merge with Disney Plus as well? Also, WB shows are on Disney Plus, like Full House.
Yeah, and then I saw on Netflix they're doing that. Was it Dead Boy Detectives? Like that was originally going to be Max. And now they have it on Netflix. It's kind of bad. But I guess there is some crossover. There's still a few things on Netflix that's from Warner and so on and so forth. So as of now, I can't see Netflix merging with Disney Plus. I don't think either of them would see the point. But maybe down the line, depending on how they do. But yeah, as of now, I can't see that.
Christopher, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, what was your favorite story arc from Star Wars The Clone Wars? Also, I'm surprised that there is no Disney-cember for Andor. Any brief thoughts?
Andor is one of those I'll probably wait for it to wrap up. And a favorite arc from Clone Wars, was that the question? Man, pretty much anything with Darth Maul was so fascinating. I can't believe they just took this character and had 2 lines in Phantom Menace. I mean, he was pretty much just a bodyguard. It just made him so fascinating, like so Shakespearean, like the way he spoke and everything was so intriguing. Yeah, I think anything that would sort of show like a lot of his development, coming back and getting revenge and stuff, all that was really, really cool.
Raccoon CD, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hello, Doug. I have some questions about Disney-cember. Will you review Epic Mickey or its sequel when the remake comes out? Also, do you plan on doing anything about the theme parks?
We've talked about me at some point doing like the theme parks. I don't know if that makes sense to do or not. Is that something where it's going to be like, oh, it's a cool idea, or oh my god, this is so desperate, kind of thing. So I don't know yet. But with Epic Mickey, we talked about it because I never played it. And with the re-release, it might make sense to do this year.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Amphibia, who do you like more, Polly or Sprig?
Probably Sprig. Polly's fine, but I like the friendship between Sprig and the main character.
Fire Tower, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you heard or seen the past cartoons called Action Man and Max Steel 2000 version?
I don't think so. Let me just type that in real fast. Hold on. Action Man. Action Man was the original G.I. Joe, I guess. Okay, so no, I still haven't seen that. Oh no, there's a show. Okay, no, I haven't seen that. What's the other one? Max Steel?
Max Steel 2000 version.
The 2000 version. No, I have not seen either of these, but now I know they exist.
Alex, thank you for the $10 super chat. Can you review Superman versus the Elite? It shows why Superman killing can be scary and how a large mass of public opinion can change if you show the consequences.
Can be. I mean, I think Superman killing in general is a pretty scary idea. But man, I'm assuming that's one of those like animated on-demand movies or whatever. And there's so many of them that I haven't seen that a ton of them. But I've seen a handful and I like them. That's another one where they keep big for some reason. Maybe because I want a universe that's a little bit more consistent unless it's something I already really love, like The Killing Joke, which even then, that wasn't that great. So I'll try and check it out. I'll try and watch it. I don't know if I'll do a review of it, though.
Oliver, thank you for the $5 super chat. Sad to hear you don't enjoy Wish. I actually thought it was visually stunning, like a moving illustration, and Asha's character design was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, the characters look fine. You know, I say on paper it should work, and I mean that quite literally. I think the watercolor on hand-drawn on paper would look great. I don't know if it works for CG, and I go into that because everything is in focus, and that's not the strength of CG. CG is about depth, it's about shadow, and I think when they put lines on everything, but it's still 3D, that doesn't work. Something like Lilo and Stitch, that really works because the watercolor's a little blurry, you know, in the background, it's very watery, but then like the cell animation, that's very sharp, it's very crisp, and it's literally, you know, painted, it's solid. But with CG, that doesn't work because they're supposed to be three-dimensional and they move differently, and you don't have those shadows on there, and you can't appreciate the line work because that's not where it came from. So yeah, that's my thought on that.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. With you saying you're no longer doing clipless reviews, I can imagine those haters from back then being like, where was this back in 2015 or 2016?
I mean, it is one of those things where it's like, it's always tough to follow what people want and then trusting your gut too, because there was a part of me that I'm like, I like these. These are fun to do. These are interesting. I think they're doing reviews in a different way. I won't make them only this, but you know, I want to try these out. And years later, there are people saying, "When's the next one? When's the next one?" When they came out, they're like, "Boo!" God, but people would watch them. And then anytime I would do ones that they recommend, like I do them, and nobody would watch them, you know. So it's tricky. It's a juggling act, but yeah. But I also know there's ones that, you know, I could have done better as well, and vice versa. Just sort of the regular reviews I could have done better too. So yeah, it depends. It really is a balancing act.
JL, thank you for the $10 super chat. Ever hear of the streamer, I'm gonna mess this name up, Zareni Zerak. Sorry, Zareni Zerak. He does movie reviews and gameplay reviews. You should do a video with him.
I've never even heard of him. I'll say that with crossovers, I don't do as many, and when I do, I try to do them only if like there's no other way to do the review. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. A part of me, and I know I'm a corny guy, and I do a lot of corny stuff in my reviews, but something about doing a crossover where it's not necessary feels really corny to me right now. So I feel like when I did the SpongeBob movie, it totally made sense to bring in Phantom Strider because I know what SpongeBob is, but I don't know the history of like people's connection to that character, people that grew up with it and stuff like that. So he was great for that. So that's kind of the thought with that, but I'll try to look up the person's stuff.
Kevin, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you please produce a top 11 film noirs? Excuse me. I imagine it would feature The Maltese Falcon and Marlowe, starring Liam Neeson.
Yeah, I haven't seen Marlowe yet. I'm a little curious to check that out. But you know, that's another genre I love. And you think I'd be an expert on because I talk about how cool it is and stuff like that, but I'm really not. I think I like more modern film noir. I like what they can do with shadows and all that stuff now a little bit more, you know, like go crazy extreme with something like Sin City or something like that. But I have seen those other movies, you know, like I've seen Maltese Falcon and a lot of those, and yeah, The Third Man and all that. And they're great. I mean, they're wonderful. They're fantastic. But I don't think I'd be adding anything that new. I'd just be saying what everyone else has said about them because they are very clearly classics.
Azaleas Arts, thank you for the 510 bits. So sorry if you've already answered this before, but what did you do before YouTube? What's the Nostalgia Critic origin story?
Out of when I was in high school and college, I was a janitor. There's a quite funny video of me quitting my job as a janitor. I'm always either known as the Nostalgia Critic or the guy who quit his job in that weird ass way. So you can still find that sometimes. But after that, I was a illustrator, a freelance illustrator, and I was doing this just as a hobby. The YouTube stuff. I mean, it was before you could make a living at it, and sure enough, it started paying more than the illustration jobs. I said, okay, maybe I should do this.
Great Pretender, thank you for the 500 bits. You mentioned that Dragonheart is an ambitious kind of bad. What do you mean by that? I'll always have a soft spot for it since it's the film that introduced me to fantasy.
Any movie that gets a green light to turn Sean Connery into a talking CG dragon and it's supposed to be serious, That's ambitious.
Yeah.
That's very ambitious. It doesn't work, but it's very ambitious.
Cameron, thank you for the 27-month subscription on Twitch. Appreciate it.
Ooh.
Yay, anniversary. Hey, idea for the next commercial special. Remember when Pillsbury did frozen waffles? Well, there's a funny one about a boy in a full body cast.
All right, look that up.
AB Dizier, thank you for the 5-month subscription on Twitch. Welcome back. JL, thank you for the $10 super chat. Do a Disney Sember with wild hogs.
Which one's Wild Hogs? Is that the?
I don't know.
Is that like? I was gonna say I see like Tim Allen and John Travolta, and I was like, oh, but also Liam H. Macy and Martin Lawrence. Okay, maybe man, it's another one that looks really bad. We'll see.
Frank, thank you for the $5 super chat. Did you watch Exorcist Believer? And if so, was it better or worse than The Heretic?
No, and it looked bad. I haven't seen it, but I'm just gonna say Heretic is better. Brad saw it, and he was telling about some of the scenes in there, and I'm just like, it's one of those. I'm like, no, they did. You're kidding. They did this. What? It sounded really bad. Maybe I'll watch it just on like a lark to make fun of it or something like that. But yeah, it sounded pretty bad.
I love to draw. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you like to voice a character in a Devil Artemis video?
I'm gonna sound awful. What is Devil Artemis again? Sometimes I have to just see it, and I'll be like, "Oh, it's that." No, I still don't know what this is. I guess it's a YouTuber. I have not seen these. I will try to check them out.
Ryan, thank you for the $10 super chat. Would you ever do an NC review the original Ghost in the Shell in 1995 down the road, or even Akira?
Animes are very tricky because Japan's copyright laws are very different, and even if you're reviewing it and it's within the law and stuff like that, they will still claim it big time, and they do not like to release it for a while. So probably not. With that said, I do have to see Ghost in the Shell again because I saw it when I was very young, and I did not follow it, and I know it's a classic, and I need to watch it again to see what I've been missing. But I do love Akira.
Jacob, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Doug, are you curious about the Michael Jackson biopic next year? They're apparently covering most of his life and career, and considering his legacy, it would have to be a 3.5-hour long movie to do so.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that, man. I am not envious of that production. Even if all the stuff with him, did or didn't happen, all the allegations and stuff like that. Just telling that story is so difficult. I saw a miniseries years ago that I really liked. It was about the Jackson 5. And that was like, I don't even know, like 6-8 hours long, something like that. And that was just his childhood. They covered a little bit of his adulthood, but just that alone was so much. So I don't know how you do it. Honestly, I feel like that makes more sense. Maybe doing like a miniseries, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you cover all that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Beside Bellows, are there any other characters in Owl House you were not a fan of?
The little at the end, she like operates the robot or whatever, the little second command. I didn't get honestly, most of the villains I didn't really get into. Anything kind of connected around that character, I just wasn't a fan of, with the exception of the sister. The sister was okay, but yeah, I think because that world seems already made up of kind of creepy villain characters, and I was kind of okay with that. I think the idea of just adding one big evil sourpuss is just not that interesting to me. So yeah, just kind of everything around that character I personally wasn't a fan of. I know a lot of people that like him fine.
Kermit Wazowski, thank you for the 52-month subscription. Welcome back. Batboy, thank you for the 13-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Bezos, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen the HBO Harley Quinn show? And if so, what are your thoughts?
Oh, love it. Oh my God. It is so funny. It is so clever. I love this world they created in this parody of Batman. It kind of reminds me of Lego Batman, how they just took this parody, but they actually did some real good world building with it, but still had to be really, really funny. And it gets better. That's what I like about it too. Like it starts off good. It's a good show. And then second season gets better and third season gets great. And they just kind of get better and better to a point where sometimes I prefer these versions of Batman characters to like sometimes what we're getting in like the professional movies sometimes. So yeah, no, very, very funny.
Jennifer, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say I've been watching you for almost 15 years, and I love you and your work.
Oh my God, thank you so much. It's so kind of you to say. Thank you.
Honest Reviewer, thank you for the 500 bits. Sup, Doug and Heather. Been giving some thoughts of the Godzilla commercials I pitched to celebrate his 70th birthday this November, and the 80s Dr. Pepper commercial, the 90s Taco Bell ads, the 2010 Snicker ad, Fiat 500, and Godzilla versus Charles Barkley. You can just sprinkle them throughout the commercial special at random. I know it's a weird way to celebrate his birthday, but it's definitely a way you want to do it.
Man, what's really crazy is I remember a lot of those when you were naming those. Like they opened up these, man, like the Charles Barkley one. Yeah, they're like both giant and they're playing basketball. The Taco Bell one with the Chihuahua. Yeah, man, I just opened up all these little doors. They've been closed for years. So well done.
JL, thank you for the $10 super chat. Thoughts on 2.5 Men?
I've only seen a little bit, and what I saw, I liked. Again, it just didn't grab me, so I didn't watch a ton of it. But the little bit I saw, I enjoyed. Okay.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What I found really lazy in Lightyear was the reason they call future Buzz Zurg. In one scene, he just says, robots can't say Buzz, so around here, I'm just Zurg. It's like they didn't even try.
I agree. And who wanted to see that? Who would have thought, oh, that's a good twist on that character. That's a good spin. Like, I already wasn't liking the movie, but when that scene came up, I'm like, okay, I really hate this. I do not like this.
Fire Tower, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you ever do a Nostalgia Critic review of Buzz Lightyear of Star Command movie?
The animated one. I did Disney-cember of it. That felt right. That felt pretty good. Might be fun to do a Disney-cember on the show. Because I've only seen a little bit of the show. What I saw, again, I thought was pretty fun. So maybe I'll do that.
Kermit Wazowski, thank you for the 500 bits. First thing I said when today's NC went up was, oh, he's serious. Well played, sir.
Yeah, and it was, like I said, just kind of a last-minute thing because we were going to do Wish, and A, I got sick, and then B, they postponed the release of the Blu-ray. So I was like, I had to think of something really fast. I was already getting these Bill Cosby commercial together. I'm like, all right, well, this will be a funny ending, and people will be like, oh, is he serious? So, yeah, it kind of worked.
Azaleas Arts, thank you for the 510 bits. With Matt Pat and other big YouTube legends retiring, I'm worried. I don't want to be alone. You aren't planning on leaving us, right? 30 years of Nostalgia Critic?
Not me. I'm in my prime.
Sean, thank you for the $2 super chat. Seth, thank you for the $10 super chat. Will there be Disney-cembers for the Clone Wars sequels series, The Bad Batch, and Tales of the Jedi? They are the best Star Wars products we have gotten in a while.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I always confuse Tales of the Jedi with the collection of... Wait, that's not... Which one's the collection of short films? Is that Visions? That's Visions.
Well, there's Visions. Yeah, Visions is probably what
and then there's Tales of the Jedi. I've not seen Tales of the Jedi. I should, because I have heard it's very good. I did really like Visions. I enjoy that a great deal. And I haven't seen The Bad Batch. Now that it's wrapped up, I think it does make sense to watch it. So I will try my best to get to that this year. If not this year, next year.
Azaleas Arts, thank you for the 500 bits. Were you ever into wrestling? WWF, ECW, Raw, SmackDown, and if so, who's your favorite wrestler? I always loved Edge.
When I was very, very young, I did like WWF. It was one, but it's the same thing as now. I was more interested than in the wrestlers than wrestling. When I actually watched the wrestling, I found it very boring, but I loved watching the people themselves. I loved learning what went into getting the crowd excited or talking to the camera, the characters they would make. But the actual wrestling itself, I found very dull. But in terms of favorite, you know, I did like Andre
I was frozen today.
Why am I blanking on his name? Sergeant Slaughter. Sorry.
There you go.
Sergeant Slaughter. I liked Hulk Hogan, but Andre the Giant was my boy. I love people that have what many would see as a disadvantage and they turn it into an advantage. I love that. And everyone just said he was the sweetest, nicest dude, and all the stories about him are so cool, and him like living, you know, with his size and everything are so fascinating. I watched documentaries about him. I've read books about him. I absolutely love the guy.
Rico, thank you for the 500 bits. Have any of you two played Alien Isolation? It's a survival horror game where you play Amanda Ripley, Ellen Ripley's daughter. It takes place between Alien and Aliens and is considered canon. I did play Alien Isolation, and I will say this. It is a great game, and it would be a fantastic and amazing game if it was half as long as it is. It is way too long. It drags.
Okay, man,
But it's a great game.
It's a cool idea too. I
Well,
love that idea.
It's even cooler because the majority of the game is you hiding from the xenomorph.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured at first, and then
Yeah.
like, wait, did I? Maybe I saw someone starting to play it. I do remember an Alien game that was legit pretty creepy, and there was a lot of hiding and trying to get away from the creatures. So maybe I've seen some gameplay of it, but yeah, I don't know. It would be kind of cool to play. It'd be a good one to play in the dark.
Tom the Don, thank you for the $10 super chat. I believe Stephen King stories count for Stephen King reviews, so please do the Mangler review. So Bad It's Good also has Robert Englund, one of my favorite bad King films.
Mangler. I never even heard of this one. Toby Hooper, okay. Robert Englund, based on show story. Huh. All right. I've never heard of this. I will look it up.
Chris, thank you for the $5 super chat. Tyler James Williams was on Little Bill 2. He played the title character's older brother, Bobby.
Oh, good to know.
JL, thank you for the $10 super chat. Ever watch The Good Doctor with Freddie Highmore?
I tried. And I like Freddie Highmore. You know, because sometimes this is brought up a couple times about characters with special needs and stuff and how they're represented, and should an actor represent that, should they not, and stuff like that. And my thought is, like, if you can get a person that actually has that, you know, special need, great. If not, the actor or the people at least portraying it or talking about it has to feel genuine. It has to feel like they've really done their research. They want to do this in a way that's respectful and interesting, and not exploitive. Good Doctor feels very exploitive, and I have no doubt that Freddie Highmore has done a lot of research and probably, you know, hung out, you know, with somebody to get the mannerisms down, stuff like that. The way it's written, the way it's done. I know I shouldn't talk because I'm not, you know, on the spectrum or anything, but I mean, like, it feels exploitive to me, and it always did. And I have talked to one or two people on the spectrum about it. They bring it up. I don't bring it up because it feels weird if I bring it up. What do you think of The Good Doctor? But they bring it up, and they usually don't like it. I'm like, okay, that makes me feel better because it just did not feel right watching it. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say why. It just, something about it feels very exploitive, where other times I've seen people play that kind of role and it doesn't feel that way.
John Bondi, thank you for gifting that membership on YouTube. The Music World, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, do you have the date for the NC review of Princess Bride? By the way, I do not think that means what you think it means.
Did I write that down? I have to double check if that's on the list, because it should be on the list. I think that'd be a fun one to do. I guess that's a very hard no. I definitely don't have a date for it, but because I have to check if it's even still on the list. But yeah, I do want to review it.
Digi, thank you for the $7 super chat. Deb the Wiser, thank you for the 500 bits. Which movie did you like more, Godzilla vs. Kong 2021 or Godzilla Kong The New Empire 2024?
Versus that gave a little bit more what we're looking for. Is really cool to see, and they're together in it more. Like I get the idea of having them be separate, and I like that Kong is more the main character, but Godzilla was more of kind of like a special appearance at the end in the other one. But when they did, it was cool. It was awesome. I didn't mind following Kong, but even like the human characters I felt were a little better in Godzilla vs. Kong. I don't know. I dug that one more.
Frank, thank you for the $5 super chat. Is anyone with Channel Awesome into rom-coms? I'm not, but I'm not gonna lie, I really got into anyone but you.
I'm really into Christmas rom-coms whenever Christmas comes around, and I wasn't originally, and I thought, I didn't know they were self-aware. I didn't know that they had fun with it. I didn't know they exploited in the way that it should be exploited, in the same way slasher films are exploited, where it's like they have these tropes and they have fun with them, and there's winking but not too hard. Like, there's a right way to do it, and the ones that do it well are so much fun, and they're so Christmassy, and they so get in the spirit of it, but they also know they're trash and they have fun with it. So yeah, around Christmas time, I really, really enjoy them.
Alex loves musicals. Thank you for the 500 bits. Plot-wise, Frozen 2 isn't good, but I give Disney props for tackling different emotional attachment disorders with their leads and how it can negatively impact different relationships. Anna has anxious attachment and Elsa has avoiding attachment disorder. That's rare to see in an animated Disney movie.
See, I kind of got that in the first film. That's what I liked about the first film, is that they were two sides of the same coin. One just wore her heart on her sleeve and, would marry the first guy that she sees. And the other was very closed off and it wouldn't open up to anyone. It showed the downside of both of those. And that's very tricky to do in a movie, in a family film. So I personally thought that was handled better in the first one, but I guess some of that carries over in the second one.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Something that really bothered me in Avatar is that in the original, he straight up ran away from home, but in the remake, he just went on a ride to clear his head because of this. Whenever people did mad at him for abandoning the world, it doesn't hit like it did in the original. What are your thoughts?
Totally agree. That was I guess I kind of knew I wasn't going to like the show as soon as it showed that backstory. Because again, like what many people say is the best episode is when they show his backstory and Zuko's backstory, like whatever it was, like fourth episode in, something like that. And they just complement each other so beautifully. So to open with that, just to do something a little different, just to mix it up, it's like, nah, they're not going to get why this show is special. And it's not awful, but it's like I don't think they're not going to get it.
Doug, thank you for the £2 super chats. Azaleas Arts, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen the Beetlejuice musical? Alex Brightman, aka Adam, Sir Pentius Frizzaroli, and Beetlejuice himself is the GOAT.
Yeah, I half of it I really enjoyed. It was right up my alley. The other half I found very annoying, honestly. But I didn't regret it. I was glad I went to see. I guess it's getting panned by critics, but it has this real diehard audience following it, and I think that's part of it. Like I think I go to musicals the way other people go to movies. Like I go once in a while and I like them, but I'm not super harsh or super critical on them because I'm not around them a ton. So I kind of don't know what to look for in terms of like, oh, I've seen this a million times in Broadway musicals or whatever. But I thought it worked well enough. I kind of like the way they combined the live action movie with the cartoon. I thought that was kind of cool. That was a fun little spin. But yeah, I enjoyed it all right.
Matthew, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, y'all, any plans for an NC on the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Man, how would I even cover that movie? That's another one, too, where I just feel like anything I could say about everyone else has already said. I just don't think I'm going to bring that much to it. But it is great. It is a wonderful movie. But yeah, I don't know what I could add to it.
Paulish, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you consider doing Dune and Dune Part 2 for a review?
I don't know. I like them. I really, really like them. It's another one where if I'm going to do that, I would have to be a diehard fan of the books. And I like the book. I actually like them more after the first book. But I'm not an expert. And Dune fans are experts. Rob's an expert. Like he knows all about it. And if I was to do it, it'd have to be some sort of like funky crossover with him where like half the review would be him talking about it. Like I'd have to just be like, no, like a good chunk of this is like his voice because he's the Dune expert. Like he would, to a point where he would have to be in it a lot.
Robert, thank you for the $5 super chat. Ever thought of doing a review on Volcano or any disaster movie? What's your personal thoughts on disaster movies? What are your favorites?
I'm glad they're dead. I never got into them. And whenever I talk about the dark age of movies, that's always kind of what I think of. I think of those stupid disaster films where it's just the same characters running away from the same flat CG and the same quips, the same lines, the same dog that gets out saved and everything like that. Yeah, they're not my thing. And they're not even like the worst. They're just so bland and boring. And I still think about how it just, how people say, oh, there's too many superhero films and stuff. Like, for a while, there's too many disaster films. And I would rather watch the superhero films.
Rico, thank you for the 1,000 bits. I've rewatching Legend of Korra. I still think it's a pretty solid show and doesn't deserve the hate it gets. Yes, it has issues, but when it's good, it's really good, at least to me.
I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like people have softened on a little bit. I think a lot of people were so pumped up because it was the follow-up to Avatar. I mean, to a lot of people, like a lot of like their favorite shows and like sort of like even personality defining shows and everything. So that's a lot to follow up on. And so any mistake the show makes, I think is going to be like just brutally criticized. And we did like a vlog series on it too and stuff like that. We pointed out stuff about it that didn't work, but I'm with you. The stuff that does is so good, and some of it's even better than the original Avatar. So yeah, I'm with you. I think it balances out okay, but yeah, it's not the original Avatar.
Rico, thank you for gifting that sub to Fire Tower. Appreciate that. Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 38-month subscription. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Hi, guys. Woohoo! Also, Saturday is my mom's birthday, and Sunday is my sister Megan's 30th birthday. I hope everyone is doing well.
Yeah, back at you and tell them all happy birthday.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. I love in Owl House when they take a jab at Disney for canceling the show, where Luce straight up says, maybe if we had time for 20 more adventures, but we don't.
Yeah, I like that too. I thought that was a funny little way of sort of, I'm sure they've said it online and stuff like that too, but that was a way of winking really hard there. It's like, look, we kind of have to do this, you know, kind of thing.
Trip, thank you for the $5 super chat. Why old versus new take so long? They're my favorite review style of yours. Want to see you compare the two films of Flowers in the Attic.
It's the editing and finding the clips and going back and forth. Because it isn't just like a film that I review it, I go in order, you know, I just, you know, it's very easy to follow the film in order and stuff. I have to talk about this character in this film. Well, now I have to go and find all the clips of that character in that film and compare it to this character in another film. Now I gotta go find all the clips in another film of this character, and that's just one section out of like 5. It takes a lot of time, which again, back then when I was younger, I had the energy, I could do it, but yeah, it's tougher now.
Ecto Coolest, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you ever been starstruck?
Yeah, and it's always by the strangest people. You know, I brought up Sergeant Slaughter before. One time at C2E2, he was at a booth next to us, and I was just, I couldn't speak. I just couldn't believe Sergeant Slaughter was next to me. And it's, I haven't thought about Sergeant Slaughter since I was like 8 years old. But something about seeing him there, again, just opened up this memory of like, when I think of like just commercials and like watching TV and getting excited and eating sugary, you know, cereal and stuff, I think of him selling me G.I. Joe toys and just seeing him there. I was like, and I just went over and I took a picture. Usually when I talk to someone, I like to have like a conversation or something like that. I didn't care. I just wanted like, I just had Uncle Ewan, how much I need a bit, like just a fanboy. And I don't know why it was Sergeant Slaughter.
Sean, thank you for the $2 super chat. Phil, thank you for the 50 NOK. Have you ever thought about doing a Jim Carrey month for MC?
Maybe. I'd have to think about what movies I would do. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be kind of interesting doing like maybe 2 good ones and 2 bad ones or something. Yeah, something there.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In the Muppet movie, what do you think of Doc Hooper? There's a part of me that wishes he reformed in the end and let Kermit go.
Oh, that's kind of what I like that scene. You think he's going to. We love it. I mean, it's such a ridiculous thing, just hunting him down for like frog legs and stuff like that. I love, I always forget his name, but he's Austin Pendleton, I think is his name. He plays Max in the movie, and he always has such a unique way of talking and delivering lines, and he's so funny. Yeah, we quote a lot of his lines and Hopper's lines quite a bit. Let me see if I can look up that guy's name while you go to the next one. Austin Pendleton, that's his name.
Nice. Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, if it hasn't been asked already, what are your thoughts on the upcoming official Spinal Tap 2 sequel? I
only heard about that from James's review of Godzilla and Kong and Ghostbusters Afterlife 2, whatever it's called.
Frozen Empire, I think.
Yeah, I didn't know they were doing another Spinal Tap. I don't know what to think. Because a part of me is like, there's too many sequels, but at the same time, the thought of them older with like the long hair, but like it's white and stuff like that, or maybe like a parody of Metallica where they have like short haircuts. I mean, that does sound funny. So I'm cautiously optimistic.
Doug, thank you for the £5 super chat. Hi, Doug. Have you seen the Lackadaisy pilot? And if so, what are your thoughts on it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, gotta have to. One of our cast members is in it. But even if not, even if he wasn't, I would still check it out. I really liked it. The idea is really cool. I like the animation. What is the future of it? Are they just doing more on YouTube, or is it getting a TV show?
I think they're just doing more on YouTube, but I don't know. I have no idea, honestly.
Yeah, the animation was really cool. I think it's a cool idea. The only criticism I had is that the main character is a little too whimsical, and that's that's nobody's fault, because that's very hard to pull off. It's very hard to have a main character be whimsical and actually be very charming and genuine and say, yeah, look at Cats Don't Dance. I mean, that character's very annoying, so it's very, very hard to do. But I feel like with time they could if they could get that voice down, they can make him pretty fun, pretty cool. But yeah, there's something there. I really like it. I want to see more with it.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen Cider House Rules with Michael Caine and Tobey Maguire?
No, I guess I heard it's good. I never heard it was like phenomenal. I know it was up for all these awards, and then and everyone kind of had every time I asked someone about it, they're like, "Yeah, it's good," kind of thing. And I haven't heard about it again until honestly you brought it up. So yeah, maybe it's worth finally checking out.
Polish, thank you for the $5 super chat. What do you think of the latest Dune movies?
Oh, I like them. I will say I had to wait for the second part to see if they were really good because I liked the first one, but I was like, I gotta see what they're gonna do in the sequel to see if this works, kind of thing. And the sequel is fantastic. I can't wait for the next one. It's actually one of the few times where I'm excited to see the changes they're gonna make because a lot of what they did in there is really fascinating, and I think will make the next part even more interesting. So I'm really excited to see what his vision is for the next one.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen The World According to Garp with Robin Williams and Glenn Close?
Years ago, I remember it being good. I remember liking it, but I don't have a ton of memory. I definitely remember John Lithgow in that, but yeah, I just remember it being good. I don't remember a ton else about it.
Erica, thank you for the $5 super chat. Fan for years, would you ever consider doing a nostalgia-ween of late 90s, early 2000s Dark Castle movies? Or maybe old versus new on Haunted Hill? House on Haunted Hill, rather.
Yeah, I never did see the
I was frozen
remake.
today.
I heard it's not that great. For a film that's kind of supposed to not be that great. But yeah, I haven't seen that. I remember the logo. When you said that logo, I could envision it. And I think they were just remaking a lot of the Hammer films, I think. Didn't they also do like 13 Ghosts and stuff? But maybe. I don't like that early 2000s style, which I know it's like, well, it's perfect for making fun of. Yeah, but it's not fun to make fun of. I don't know. That late 90s, early 2000s is just a real dry spot of film for me, in my opinion, at least summer films.
Mark Morales, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Doug and Heather, I've been viewing NC reviews for over a decade. From Top 11's Disney Summer, Chester A. Bum, and commercials, what ideas would you like to try for NC? Shout out to the CA crew.
Thank you so much. Thanks for watching for so long. I have one idea. I kind of want to talk about films that kind of had like a real influence on me and kind of do them like, not as a clipless review, but something like a hint abstract, like a little bit in the style of the movie, but it wouldn't quite, like I said, it wouldn't be a clipless review, really. I don't know. I have an idea, but I want to wait for the fatigue to totally go away before I play around with it. Like the same way these movies kind of did something a little different, like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, kind of create this different world. I kind of want to do something similar to that. I have an idea, but I still got to work it out. Because when I don't have that figured out, you get the wall review and a lot of people get mad. So I wanted to make sure I really, really have it figured out.
Bernsey, thank you for the 500 bits. True believer with RDJ. Great James Wood performance, although you did say the hard way.
Okay. I haven't seen that one. I'll try to check it out.
Great Pretender, thank you for the 1500 bits. You mentioned that Dragonheart was an ambitious kind of bad. What do you mean by that? To me, I'll always have a soft spot for it since it's the movie that introduced me to fantasy.
Well, seeing how I already answered it, I'll answer it again. Just that having Sean Connery do the voice of a dragon as supposed to be serious, that's pretty ambitious. It doesn't work, but it's very, very ambitious.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Who do you think is the better Norman Osborn, Alan Rachins in Spectacular, or Mark Rolston in The Games?
When I think of what the character's like, I think of more of The Game. And part of that is we couldn't see more of Spectacular, what they were going to do with him. Maybe they're going to go more that route, but, got canceled. So, yeah, I guess I'll say The Game, but for all we know, maybe the show was going to go more that route.
Trip, thank you for the $1 super chat. Juliana, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are your thoughts on the movie Dogma? And do you think YouTube would allow you to review it?
It would be interesting to... It would be interesting, but that is another one where I say, am I waving the red, cape in front of people to have them charge at me? But I'm half and half on it. I love the ideas it introduces to young people about religion, because that is... I don't know. Religion was always one thing or another to a lot of teens back then. So I really like the idea this opened up a dialogue about it and got teens talking about it. Does that mean the movie is good? That's hard to say because the tone is kind of all over the place. Like the funny ideas, like, oh, that's funny. Oh, that's supposed to be serious. Okay. Like a few moments like that. No, this is a serious moment after we just fought the monster made out of feces and stuff. Like some of these things don't gel. But I really love that it got people my age and younger talking about religion. I think that's really admirable. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll review that.
Devox, thank you for the 45-month subscription. Welcome back. Hello, Doug and Heather. Have you seen Dune 2? And if Dune 3 is made, which is very likely, do you think they will use the second and third books together?
A part of me really wants them to combine those two books because I like both of those books a great deal. But I think he said he only wants to do Messiah. He only wants to do the one part. It's a shame because I think he could knock Children of Dune out of the park. But I don't think he has any interest in it. He probably shouldn't be forced to do it. So if he just wants to do Messiah, fair. And yeah, I loved Dune 2. I thought it was fantastic. And I'm very excited to see what he's going to do with the next one, whether it's just one book or two.
Disney Knowledge, thank you for the 500 bits. Have there been any instances where you met multiple people with the same first name and they're all a-holes? For me, I have yet to meet a nice person named Ashley, regardless of the spelling.
Trying to think of people. I like the spelling would make a big difference. Like I spelled one with an IE. She was nice because it was spelled with an IE, but the one with a Y just a total pain in the ass. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Actually, I know I've met Ashleys, but I'm like blanking on what they were like. Maybe they're so terrible I repressed them out of my mind. No. No, that has not happened to me. I know a lot of people with the same name, but not the same a-hole trait, I guess.
John Bondi, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would Channel Awesome be interested in doing an internship for video editors? I would love to learn from you guys.
If we do that, we'll make it known. We're not looking for anyone right now, but yeah, if we like the way we got, Heather and Tamara and Malcolm and all that, like we put out an audition and stuff like that, and we put in our videos, we say, here's what we're doing and stuff. So if we do, you'll know.
Yeah, and John, thank you again for gifting those 50 memberships over on YouTube.
Thank you so
that's crazy.
much.
Thank you so much. Zero Toker, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Doug, what are your top 3 to 5 video games of all time? Much love to NC from Sector 7.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is definitely one of them. It's got some weird Popeye. I really love it. I don't know why. I absolutely love it. And
I love that.
Man, somebody brought at the last con I was at this a hard drive that just holds like thousands of games, like Super Nintendo, arcade game. I'm like, oh my god, absolutely incredible. And he said, name any game. And the first one that popped in my head was Super Castlevania 4. And I'm like, yeah, I think that's one of them. I think because I just started playing it again. I just loved it. It just felt so good to play it. I'm just like, there's something about a game where you're just so used to it. It's just so comfortable to play it. It just feels so good. It's hard to explain what it is. There's a strange comfort. It's like comfort food of video games.
Germbull, thank you for the $10 super chat. When I donate, I like to pretend you're a mafia boss and I'm giving you protection money, so you hold off your goons.
Oh, well, thank you. Let him live for now.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Fun fact, in the Mickey Mouse shorts, Mickey is voiced by the actor who played Ralphie's father in A Christmas Story Live.
Oh, no. Oh, I think I heard of that, actually. Maybe when I was reviewing it, I thought I saw something like that. I don't know why that doesn't surprise me, because he just has a normal voice, but I don't know why. He was so kind of animated in that musical, too. I was like, I could see that. I could see that voice coming out of him, weirdly.
Dan Turrell, thank you for the $20 super chat. Hey, Doug, just wanted to throw this chat out there so you can slow down and catch your breath. Real talk, first met you during MomoCon 2015, saw you and your bro, came down there to watch Mega 64 panel, but you were next door.
Oh, sweet. Well, good to hear from you again. Thank you. Thank you for watching for so long.
Strider for Life, thank you for the 34-month subscription. Welcome back. Hey, Doug, got 2 words for you. Oh, baby.
Oh, baby. Thank you.
Disney Knowledge, thank you for the 500 bits. I have a Sex, Marry, Kill, Take on a Cruise for you of actors who always gave 100% regardless of their film. Tim Curry, Christopher Lee, Vincent Price, Ernie Hudson.
What?
Sex, Marry, Kill, Take on a Cruise.
Take on a cruise. I take Ernie Hudson on the cruise. He showed me a good time. He is a gentleman. He's a very smooth dude. Sex would have to be Vincent Price, man. He's got to do something weird. He's got to do something crazy, man. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be crazy. Let's see. And we had Christopher Lee.
Marry
and who
and
else?
kill between
Oh.
Christopher Lee and Vincent Price.
Oh man, it's down to those.
You're gonna have to marry Christopher Lee. You can't kill him. No.
No.
Just kidding.
No. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna marry Tim Curry because again, he's gonna have some interesting stories, and then I'll kill Christopher Lee, but he'll come right back because he's Dracula.
There you go. Jerry, thank you for the $10 super chat. With you reaching the end of Batman the Animated Series, where would you like to see Batman go? Love fanscription.
Well, he is doing something. Walter, he's working on our Batman. It's not going to be like every day, but he's working his butt off on it. Can't say whatever that word was going to be. I could probably say that, but I don't want to take a chance.
Yeah.
And it should be good. You'll have to wait and see what's going to be.
Azaleas Arts, thank you for the 500 bits. With your crossover policy of things making sense, would you ever consider doing a crossover with the legendary James A. Janis from Dead Meat? I know horror isn't generally a genre you do, so he could help out.
I have a terrible confession. I always see those videos and they look cool. I have never seen one. And I know they're incredibly successful. I mean, they just do so good. I've never actually sat down and watched one. I should. I should see what the fuss is all about because it's talking about stuff that I'd be interested in. I should sit down. I should friggin' watch it. Shame on me.
Sleeping Cat Studios, thank you for the 500 bits. Have there been a joke or skit that you made that you felt it was bad taste after you did it?
Yeah, it is the only joke I ever took off after I posted. It was in Ernest States Christmas, and it was a joke on autism, and it was at the time when I was trying to push the envelope of bad taste and kind of experiment. And even when I was making, I'm like, this doesn't feel right, but let me see. Sometimes when I think something doesn't feel right, it turns out okay. And the minute somebody complained, it was a very nice written email somebody sent and said, really it's a spectrum, and there's different, people with, just different types of people on there and stuff like that. And I just said, you're right, I'm removing it. And they were just like, oh, thank you. I wasn't expecting that. I said, no, I was feeling bad about it already. It didn't feel right. So I'll take it out. It's the only joke where I'm sure there's jokes that haven't aged well. Don't get me wrong. But that's the only one where at the time I'm like, no, this isn't good. I'm getting rid of this.
We are going to have to pick up the pace a bit here.
Gotcha.
Mr. C, thank you for the $5 super chat. When Boondock Saints, though?
When Boondock Saints? I don't know if I got a ton to say about it. It's all right. I'm just not that passionate about it.
Spidey Speaks, thank you for the $10 super chat. Thoughts on the movie Poor Things? I personally found it very uncomfortable, unpleasant watch, and the music hurt my ears.
I agree on the music. We just saw it, and we really liked it. But I do agree on the music. Mark Ruffalo was also a little annoying.
Emerald, thank you for the $10 super chat. Which movie genres you don't like?
I don't know if there's one I don't like. Probably the one I watch the least is Westerns. It's just not my thing, but there's still some amazing ones.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. If the CA crew were the emotions from Inside Out, Tamara, joy, Rob, anger, fear, Malcolm, disgust, Heather, really, anxiety, Doug, Walter, ennui.
Really? I'm the anxious? I mean, okay, sure. I just thought I was Riley. I was all the emotions.
Bernsey, thank you for the 500 bits. Check out the Madam Web How It Should Have Ended. They have a number of special guests, at least one or two you'll enjoy.
Oh, okay. I'll check that out.
Madam Muffin Hawk, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on the Grand Budapest Hotel and maybe NC on it? It could be your first Wes Anderson review, and it turns 10 this year.
Yeah, I never have done a Wes Anderson, but I really like that one. I like it a great deal. It might be my favorite. Actually, Fantastic Mr. Fox is my favorite, but I guess another one I don't think I could add that much to it, but I do really like it.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Top 3 favorite film series with at least 4 movies.
Films? Oh my God, I can't think of them right now. Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and Batman, sure.
Frank, thank you for the $5 super chat. Any thoughts on the Kingsman movies?
I've only seen the first one. I like that fine. I heard all the others weren't anything, so I never saw them.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 550 bits. Hello, Doug and Heather. I hope you both are doing well for the next big TV program special. Previous ones like Fox Kids, Disney Afternoon, Toonami, etc. Which will you be covering this year? If you do Adult Swim, I hope you cover Full Metal Alchemist and Blood Plus.
We were talking about doing Adult Swim. Again, I have to wait till I get this under control, the fatigue and everything. It is better, but it's still not gone, and I need full attention on that if I'm doing that.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. Continuing the CA Crew's emotions, Barney, sadness, Chaplin, embarrassment, envy, Buster.
All right.
Sleeping Cat Studios, thank you for the 500 bits. Would you be willing to play Dead Space on stream?
Why do I know that name?
It's like a horror space vibes kind of a game.
Okay.
Tamara was playing it for a little while.
Okay, maybe that's how I know it. Maybe. We'll see.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen any version of The Jazz Singer? I've seen the AI, Jolison, and Neil Diamond ones.
Only clips. I should sit down and watch that whole movie because it's like, isn't that like the first sound movie? Yeah, I probably should.
Yeah, sorry. I just realized it was Al Jolson and I read it as AI. Jesus
like,
Christ,
AI
Heather.
version? What? Yeah, very funny.
Haunted Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. I gotta say, for reasons not your fault, today's review was the cringiest. I think you may be reaching a new generation that doesn't know why you do top 11 instead of 10.
Well, next time I'll make it clear. If they ever want to find out, go watch any of the other top 11s.
Disney Knowledge, thank you for the 500 bits. With a few exceptions like Kiki Delivery Service, Spirited Away, Big, Kill a Mockingbird, etc., I don't like coming-of-age films like Bambi, Lion King, Florida Project, Risky Business, and John Hughes teen films, to name a few.
I like that. I never got into Breakfast Club, but I like what it's saying. No, I'm a real big fan of them when they're done right.
Jacob, thank you for the $10 super chat. We mentioned MJ earlier, but did you hear Sam Mendes is making 4 connected movies based on each of the lives of the Beatles? It sounds insane, but I think it has potential.
You know, he said MJ. I was thinking of like Mary Jane for a second. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. I did hear about that. That sounds actually really, really interesting.
Case, thank you for becoming a member on YouTube. Thomas, thank you for becoming a member on YouTube. Emerald, thank you for the $10 super chat. I have visited your Wikipedia page and it has a source from your website that says you are descended from a medieval era German composer.
I mean, you can't argue with the facts. I don't know why that's there.
JL, thank you for the $10 super chat. Did you check out the Yashahime manga yet? Volume 5 hits in July.
No, it's gonna be a while, man. It's gonna be a really long time. I'm pretty busy.
Colta Fan Studios, thank you for the $20 super chat. Excuse me. Been watching you, Doug, since 2014. You're one of my biggest inspirations. Huge fan from the film Alpha and Omega, and coincidentally, I created my own NC-style review of Alpha and Omega a month before your own review.
Oh, that's funny. Very cool. Coincidence. Thank you for watching for so long.
Sean, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you seen The Sure Thing by Rob Reiner starring John Cusack and Daphne Zuniga, Princess Vespa? It's the most 80s movie. It's the most 80th movie. Fun fact, Zuniga was one of the last people to work with Lucille Bell.
Lucille Bell. Boy, it sounds familiar, but I don't think I've ever seen it. I'll try to check it out.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you, Rob, Heather, or any member of the CA ever plan on becoming a parent? We've got some Channel Awesome parents.
I mean, come on. You're saying that in front of my son right here. My son is right here within earshot. I thought about it before, but I'm pretty happy with... I'm happy with cats. I'm happy with my job and my cats.
Devox, thank you for the 500 bits. Here's the angriest reviewer you ever heard. He's the angry... Oh, sorry, wrong channel.
Yeah, whatever word I was going to say.
Emerald, thank you.
I'll do the frown.
There it is. Emerald, thank you for the $10 super chat. Yeah, I agree. The Good Doctor is blackface for special needs people. Thanks.
It has that feel. I do believe he's trying. I don't think that actor is trying to be exploitive, but still coming across that way. A lot of that, I think, is just the writing and directing.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Did you ever see the film statement Sylvester Stallone made after Carl Weathers passed away? It's a very sweet video.
I did. That was very, very touching to see. Yeah.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which Alan Tudyk character do you like more, King Candy or the Duke of Wesselton?
King Candy's from Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah, he has more dimension to him. He has more of a backstory, so I think that character.
Sleeping Cat Studios, thank you for the 500 bits. What is your found footage movies? Maybe favorite? I think maybe they're missing the word favorite.
Okay, gotcha. I really excuse me. I really like Paranormal Activity 2. I thought it was really, really good, like legit scary. Um, a lot of them usually have something good in them. I guess that's a good answer for now.
Alexander, think of the 500 bits. How will you rank these opponents from the Rocky series? Apollo Creed, Clubber Lang, Ivan Drago, and Dame from Creed 3.
Uh, I mean, I think I almost got to put Creed as number one just because he's like, there's so much that was done with him and even his son. Probably the one from Creed 3. He was a pretty good villain, and Drago would be next, and I forget the name of the other. What was that?
Clubber Lang.
T? Yeah. Although that feels weird putting him last. I'll switch Drago and Mr. T because that doesn't feel right.
Drugged Fish Stick, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Doug, just wanted to say my brother and I have been enjoying your content since you reviewed Batman and Robin all those years ago. You're amazing. Don't let anybody dull your sparkle.
Oh my god, thank you so much. Okay, I gotta say, thanks for watching so long. Yeah, that's like one of my earliest reviews.
Anthony, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen The Smiling Friends season 2? The new one-off character Gwimbly is a pretty funny throwback to the mascots from the PS1/N64.
Yeah,
era.
my favorite is when he was doing the cameo, and because he says, just want to tell you, and he says some sort of weird phrase. And he's like, I don't know what that means, but hopefully you like the cameo, because I'm the same way. I gotta say so much weird stuff. I'm like, I don't know what that's about, but hopefully it makes you happy.
Blake the Nothing, thank you for the 34-month subscription. Evening, y'all. Doug, thoughts on Solar Opposites?
Did I see that one? Oh, no, that was the show. We started it, and we weren't really getting into it, but I hear it gets better, so maybe I should give it another chance.
Caleb, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Doug, what are your thoughts on the Wonka movie? Not sure if anyone's asked.
I haven't seen it yet. I want to. I have it on the queue to watch, hopefully soon.
JL, thank you for the $10 super chat. Did you ever see The World's Greatest Dad with Robin Williams?
No, I heard mixed things about it, but I'm curious to check it out because some of the people who made it are interesting.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Shawshank, I love when the warden realizes that Andy switched the books and hears the cops coming. I love the look on his face when he realizes he is screwed.
Yeah, again, that's a movie I feel like didn't need a villain, but at the same time, it is kind of worth it for those moments. I love those kind of moments where they kind of put something together and they get their comeuppance.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you ever seen this film, St. Vincent? It's not a great movie, but Bill Murray and Melissa McCarthy make it well worth watching. I'd recommend it, even if it can be a tad corny at times.
That's what I heard. I heard the performances are good, but the movie's not that good. So I don't know. Maybe one day I'll sit down and watch it.
Frank, thank you for the $10 super chat. What is a movie you've seen that goes so bonkers, you're crazy you can't help but love it? For me, it's a horror movie called Malignant.
That one's pretty crazy. You want another one? Cobweb. I think it's on Hulu. And literally, it changes like tone and style every half hour. It just becomes like a different movie. And you just can't predict where it's going. That one's pretty fun.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In the DuckTales reboot, how would you rate the three main villains? Magica, Lunaris, and Bradford.
Man, I'm blanking on the... I think I'd have to see him. Magica was pretty fun. I guess Bradford was pretty good. And then... I forget whatever the name of the other one was, but that one next.
Bullwinkle, thank you for the $2 super chat. Invictus Fish, thank you for the $10 super chat. Do you still hate the angry video game nerd, and do you have a final Nostalgia Critic versus AVGN battle in mind?
I hate him to my darkest core. Yeah, it's all a joke. Don't worry. Yeah, when he finally made a video, he had to spell it out because a lot of people thought it was real. And yeah, no. Sweetest dude in the world. That's another one where we still talk and hang out and stuff, but like if we're gonna shoot something, it's gotta be something we both really want to do because we've done a lot of videos together.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Die Hard, what do you think of the chief of police? He's the reason Roger Ebert gave the movie thumbs down.
So he's not that bad. I still Die Hard. Come on. I was talking to Brad about it. He says he always likes characters that just go, like that. He likes that trope. I don't. I think they always bring everything to a standstill and it's boring and it's dull and everything. So I'm not a fan of that character, but I get the fun around the trope and always having that character there. But I thought he just kind of slowed everything down.
Christopher Killian, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you ever seen a show called Stranger Things? If you have, love to know your thoughts on how they do the various 80s stuff.
I love. Have you ever heard this show? It's not very well known, a little independent show. Yes, I know Stranger Things, and I loved it at first, and it started to get a little silly, but then it kind of got good again. The last season was pretty decent, so I'm curious to see how they're going to wrap it up. And I think they handle the '80s stuff well.
Matt Gamer, thank you for the 500 bits. Doug, help! Cosby is chasing me with a cigarette in his hand. Cosby, got him. No, seriously, this top 11 had me laughing so hard from your cutaway moments.
We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you. It's a cigar. Thank you so much. Somehow it's even more disturbing that way.
The Retro Maniac, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey Doug, I was curious if you would review the film Mom and Dad Save the World. The people who worked on it were gonna work on the 90s Mario film, making it a dark fantasy, but like the game.
Huh. I would like to see how they would have done that. And I've never seen, I remember a ton of ads for it, but I never actually checked it out. So maybe I should finally.
JL, thank you for the $10 super chat. Did you see the new Dragon Ball Dima trailer?
No, I'm not a big
I
Dragon
was
Ball
frozen
guy. I want
today.
to be. Now that I've sort of started the show a little bit, I'm like, I actually want to watch more, but I just don't have time to.
Jacob, thank you for the $2 super chat. JL, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hope you will do a review of The World's Greatest Dad.
I'll look into it.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of Carl from Ghost? Do you think he's a good villain?
Yeah, he's it's funny because you kind of have a suspicion, but when they finally reveal he's the bad guy, that's such a great. See, God, Swayze was such a good actor. Yeah, that's a good movie. It's a bit, I don't want to say it's underrated because everybody knows what that movie is, but people forget how good that movie is.
Yeah. Okay, and that does bring us to
All
it.
right.
We got it. We got like 3 minutes to look at some of these other
Alrighty.
chats here, okay? Sean on Twitch says, if you're in the mood for a good documentary on Hulu, I recommend this 3-part documentary called FDR.
All right, I've seen some documentaries on. Actually, maybe I have seen it. The more I think about it, it was on Hulu, but I rented it from the library. I might have seen it.
Sean, thank you for the $2 super chat. Don't eat another bite of that apple. It's poison.
Here, Chaplin, have some.
Oh
And,
no,
it wa-
not Chaplin.
It wasn't FDR. It was the Roosevelts. That's what I saw. I want to say it was Ken Burns, but I could be wrong.
Gotcha. Honest Reviewer asks on Twitch, is there any chance of an AVGN crossover for the Godzilla vs. Kong review? Sure, there are a lot of jokes you can use with how their feud mirrors NC and Nerd.
Maybe, like I said, I mean, it has to be something we really both really want to do because we are older. He has 2 kids, I mean, that's all pretty draining. So it has to be something we're really crazy passionate about.
Bernsey, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey guys, on Facebook, there's bots mentioning cringy movies from the 80s. I'm surprised Bugsy Malone hasn't been featured. This musical, like featuring gangster characters who were fire whipping cream bullets from guns, sounds fine, especially since many of the cast, led by Scott Baio, are children, but Jodie Foster sings a song called Tula. It's an interesting idea, a crime movie musical, but the message in Tula seems very awkward.
Yeah, I never knew this movie existed until someone brought it up, and I kind of didn't believe it was a real thing, and I look it up, I'm like, what? Like, it's really weird. I still haven't seen it, but yeah, it looks pretty bonkers.
Sizer, thank you for the $5 super chat. We're gonna get you. Great last episode.
Thank you so much.
Wingweaver on Twitch says, if you want to see some movies that are so surreal and nonsensical, I would recommend watching anything by Neil Breen. I guarantee you won't be the same person afterwards.
Yeah, I finally discovered some of his stuff. It's pretty hilariously bad. I guess that's kind of like the new Wiseau, where you just got to see it to believe it.
Jacob, thanks for the $2 super chat. Have you seen Top Gun Maverick?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I did a review of it when it came out and everything. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it.
Power Gamer on Twitch says, so I saw Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and while it wasn't amazing, I had some good laughs and was a pretty fun time. I also saw Dune Part 2. It was Dune Part 2, i.e. phenomenal.
Yeah. I'm hearing people either I haven't heard anyone hate the new Ghostbusters. They usually just say it's way too crowded, but some people see past that and still like it. Okay, I'm probably gonna rent it. I don't know if I'm gonna see it on the big screen.
Sizer, thank you for the $5 super chat. Also, love the pink elephant shirt.
Oh, thank you. Yes, he loves you too.
Elite Gamer on Twitch says, hiya, Doug and Heather. Hope you are both well. So, Doug, would you ever review the Owl House outside of Disney-cember, especially with the last season being screwed over?
I feel like I got my thoughts out in the Disney-cember. That's all I gotta say about that.
Wonderful. Fantastic. Okay. I think maybe we'll wrap it up here then. You know,
It's pretty good. Go with that.
About that time, eh?
About that time.
About that
About
time.
that time.
Hey. But thank you all so much, as usual, for joining us here today. We super duper appreciate it. If you are over on YouTube, do keep in mind that on Twitch, we have content 5 days a week. So if once a week here is not enough of your Doug live fill, come follow us over on Twitch. We have content there 5 days a week. So we hope to see you over there and see you again some other time. If you are on Twitch, we are going to go raid Tamra right now, who just started her stream. I'm just trying to get the raid command going. All right, fantastic. All right, sorry, had to get that settled. Okay. Yeah, have a wonderful rest of your evening. And we will see you all later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.